Hey YouTube, MrRampro here. I wanted to do a little video on the Ruger LC9s. This is not the Pro model, which I know is out now, and I probably would have bought, and I'll go over kind of why I would have bought that here in a minute. But I wanted to do a video on my new inside the waistband at the house, single stack 9mm. I wanted something here at the house that I didn't have to worry about weighing down my gym shorts or whatever, and I'm one of the people that I love to carry all the time. I mean, everywhere I go. And unfortunately, my current employer does not, allow it on the property or anything like that, so I am kind of, at a loss in that area. But either way, I really do enjoy carrying all the time. And I wanted a nice single stack, 9mm, nice lightweight, and something that I could really enjoy, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get this pistol safe, and we'll start talking. There's the clip, safety off. There's my round out there on the table. I'm going to go ahead and lock it back for us. Now, what I wanted you to notice, just off the bat, is the clean lines. I mean, these lines are really freaking cool. If you kind of enjoy that like I do, you were probably one of the same people that really wanted to buy a Remington R51 when it first came out. That was going to be my single stack 9mm, because at the time Glock had not come out with one. They do have the Glock 43 now, but it was, at the time, it was what I wanted. And I'll be honest with you, at the store it was between this and a Glock 43, and I'm very happy with this. So back to the lines thing, and we'll get to more discussion here in a minute. This thing looks freaking cool. I mean, it just has a really cool kind of PPK reminiscent kind of look to it. Nice smooth corners, nice and comfortable to carry. A really nice grip. I really do like it a lot. I think it's a very cool little deal. So I have shot it a couple of times. Very accurate, actually. I was very surprised. I think a lot of that has to do with the recoil management of a 9mm. This is my only 9mm as of right now. I've owned one before. I do not shoot 9mm very often at all, so this is kind of new territory for me. I've been doing a lot of ballistics research and stuff like that here lately, and I'm kind of impressed. So I do carry 40 often, and I carry 45 a whole lot. So my 1911s are where I'm at, and there's a couple of things that drew me to this that are kind of reminiscent of the 1911. You've got the thumb safety here, easily actuated, but has a strong detent enough to where it's not going to go off, kind of when you don't want it to. It's nice and thin profile, so you can see it here on the side, but it's still good enough to where you can hit it with your thumb. So if I'm on, hold on, let's see. Yeah, if I'm on now, when I draw out of the holster, you can hit it pretty quick and then come right back down. I'm going through the mental process of preparing myself to carry things without a safety at all. Like I said, I'm a huge 1911 fan. I carry it locked and cocked with a safety on all the time. I train that way, and that's what I really enjoy. I like that. So I'm kind of getting into the process and into the thought mindset of carrying something, empty or loaded chamber with no safety on, in a good holster and that kind of thing. As a matter of fact, when I carry my 40, I carry one, and I have for years, even though I've made other videos about it and people, say what they want about it. But I carry my Glock without one in the chamber, and I carry it inside my waistband, and I practice drawing and racking the slide. And that's what the exercises I run. I've got snap caps for it, and I run those exercises fairly often. So I feel like I'm fluent with it. Your opinion's your opinion. But either way, I'm pretty excited about this particular pistol. I like the lightweight of it. If you get on Ruger's website, you can see all the numbers. I'm not really going to bore you with that kind of thing, but nice and lightweight, nice and small. This fits inside the waistband in a little holster here. I'll show you the holsters, and actually this isn't all the holsters I have for it, but when I bought it, I didn't have one, so I bought one of these Uncle Mike's at the gun store that I bought the pistol at in the first place, and fit in pretty smooth. I like it. It was kind of a quick fix, soon after I got this, I started toying with the idea of appendix carry, which is something I've never entertained before. I do have a slight beer gut, which I'm trying to remove, but not actively. Does that make sense? Either way, this pistol worked pretty good for inside the waistband. You do have a retention issue, so I do not like that. I wanted something that would hold in the waistband, even if it was gym shorts, fairly good. So the holster actually holds, but you bend over, you know, in the wrong appendix carry kind of thing, which unfortunately, that's when the retention losses happened, when I've been bending over. And either way, the pistol's fallen out once, and actually, I don't know, you might be able to see that little bitty scratch right there, and it actually fell out while I was laying pavers in the backyard, which kind of sucks. But there's the sight picture there. Really clean, 3-dot sights, very, very accurate little pistol. I love this thing. This thing is so cool. Like I said earlier, the recoil management of a 9mm is really pretty cool. Something I've never really experienced before, and I'm really starting to enjoy that. So to answer this soft holster, I know this is not about holsters. Sorry, you're getting all of it. But either way, I'm trying out this Blade Tech appendix carry holster, and this thing's pretty cool. I actually just got it in the mail, along with the Kershaw Cryo Black Wash. This is the Cryo 2. Really cool little knife. Either way, I liked that the trigger guard was completely protected, didn't have to worry about anything, and the fact that the safety was kind of protected. So either way, well, not kind of, it is. Either way, when you're wearing it, the safety's not going to come off, so you can train, you know, you can carry it with or without the safety. If you leave this safety off, retention's pretty good on that thing. If you leave the safety off, like this, when you draw it, it'll be ready to go. You don't have to worry about any interference with your controls or anything like that, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, the retention's pretty good. It'll probably loosen up a little bit with wear in. There's no adjustable. Sorry, here I go, talking about the holster again. No adjustable retention. Either way, pistol. You do have the, I don't want to say safe action trigger, but you do have a safer action trigger here. You do have a magazine disconnect, so with the magazine out, that does kind of suck. You do lose the ability to actuate the firearm with no magazine in, which I don't appreciate. Either way, your slide lock is very stiff. I did notice that if you actually try, really? Earlier I got it without struggling, but your slide lock is actually very stiff, which promotes, oh goodness, that was quite active, wasn't it? Active to say the least, huh? Let's see if we can not do that again. Let's see, slide lock, yes, slide lock. Slide lock is very stiff, but it does promote the physical manipulation, which is good. You know, like we've heard on several people's videos, in a high-stress environment, you know, fine motor skills can be reduced and stuff like that. So the ability to, you know, the ability to train with it, you know, by racking the slide, by pulling it back, I think is a positive. So I'm trying to train with that, and of course I'm forced to now with this thing. So either way, that's another feature. You do have a pretty decent sight picture. Like I said, very accurate, cool little pistol. If you haven't shot one of these, I would recommend go renting one. This is a very cool little gun. The texturing is actually pretty good. I don't think I will do a stippling job like I did on my Glock 27. The Glock was just really smooth. This here is kind of smooth in the right places and rough in the right places. And for, let's see here, I did, and this will bring up another point too, I did buy 2 spare magazines for it because, and I just got these in the mail from Midway, pretty decent price, I think $25 and free shipping, something like that. So check it out and see if that deal's still there. But you do get 1 magazine with the pistol, which kind of sucks. I do prefer the non-protruding butt plate or the flush butt plate on my magazine versus the extended one. So I'll put the extended one in just to show you real quick. And you do get a better purchase here, you know, on the pistol. But I'll be honest with you. Now we'll put this in real quick. It does have rounds in it, but this does not bother me at all, and did not change how I shot the pistol whatsoever. This worked out really well and was very comfortable. And you also lose a little bit of that profile when carrying, so which was kind of nice. I like, you know, if I'm going to get a small little single stack 9mm, I want the ability to hide it as best I can. And the fact that I wasn't relying on the little finger extension that gives me no extra round, by the way, which kind of sucks. If it gave me an extra round, I'd probably keep it in there. But round count is 7. And the fact that I didn't have to rely on this was really pretty cool. My Glock 27, I felt like I had to rely on the finger extension, the Pierce extension grip. I felt like I needed to, just because it was so chunky in the hand, and the recoil on the 40 was kind of a little much for that small pistol. So actually I stopped carrying that, and now I carry my full-size Glock 22 inside the waistband. And I'm better with that pistol, so I kind of enjoy that. But really nice magazines. Steel construction. You do have polymer base plates, or not polymer. I think they actually say it's glass-filled nylon. This feels really good. The quality on the pistol feels good. I'm really excited about, you know, owning it and carrying it, and hoping to bring you guys some more videos. I'm not going into. There's so many guys out there that do great reviews, and I don't think I'm too far off from the mark. But there's takedown videos. There's a lot of more detailed stuff out there than what I'm going to give you. I just like to ramble. I like to chit-chat about the guns and chit-chat about the knives and stuff like that, and the homestead stuff and everything like that. And I really just, you know, that's the videos I like to hear. I would much rather hear, you know, you guys talking about what you like about your pistol, what you did with it, you know, how you shot with it, how you like to carry it, and all that stuff, than I would, you know, barrel length and description, you know, and phosphorus coatings and all this other nonsense. To me, that's all whatever. I'll look that up when I'm going to buy the gun, and I'll go from there. I do think, you know, it has its bonuses here and there, but I don't like it when that's all the video's about. You know, I like people that elaborate a little bit. You know, give me a little bit extra on the review. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And if nobody watches this video, it doesn't really bother me too much. The ergonomics are actually really nice on the pistol. I know I keep kind of talking about it. Really thin, great little profile. There's a lot of other videos out there on a lot of stuff. And since I'm out of the pistol stuff, let's talk about holsters. Got that in before you hung up. That's sweet. All right, this little Blade Tech has some pretty cool little retention right here for such a cheap holster. If you're talking $25, you can't really beat it. I mean, I don't feel like making my own Kydex holster for $25. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe, you know, a lot of people do. I'm kind of getting out of the mood of making and doing a lot of stuff. I guess it's because, you know, now we've got half a farm in the backyard, so there's a lot of upkeep with the chickens and the ducks and whatnot. But I enjoy the fact that somebody can bring me this kind of product at a cheaper price. Now, I hope it's good. If not, then you know what? I'm going to get online and I'm going to go to one of you guys that make it, and I'm going to buy it from you guys. You know, the quality's just a lot better there, and I don't have to deal with it. You know, it's just a pain in the tail anyways. But for $25, you get great retention. I just got this, so I'm going to try it appendix carry and see how it works. You do have a little logo here that says Made in USA, which is always a cool little thing. You can tell that this is like a molded plastic, molded and folded kind of thing. You can see a couple of crease marks here in the front. I thought it was Kydex. The website I was buying it from labeled it as Kydex, I think just because somebody thought that was Kydex. It does close a little bit, but it doesn't close enough to where you can't get that pistol back inside your waistband. I mean, you still have enough, and this is pushing down a lot more than what your pants are going to push down, but you can still get that nose of that pistol in and seat it right back home again, which is pretty cool. Let's see, is there anything else that I can waste your time with? LC9s. There is an LC9s Pro, which removes the safety and the magazine disconnect. And I do appreciate those offerings. I wish both of these would have been on the counter at my local gun shop when I was purchasing, because I would have bought that. This is kind of a rollover to my love of my 1911, so, you know, I'll get used to it, and if I don't like the safety, I just won't use it. You know, that's one of those things that is easy enough for me to do. The magazine disconnect is actually a bigger deal for me. I don't think that you would be able to, or that you probably could be able to, but I don't think you would accidentally release this magazine very easily. You can see I can get it with my middle finger there. You know, the thumb is there, but it's enough out of the way to where you don't have to really worry about it. So I don't think you have too many accidental magazine drops, which would create an environment where you couldn't actuate the trigger because of the disconnect. You see there. So I don't think that would be too much of an issue. This one might be a little stiff, but nope, drops free pretty good. I know my loaded one did, but that was kind of obvious. You know, you're not really been expelling a loaded magazine very often, so with the extra weight, that's obvious. The follower seems to be pretty decent. Let's see here. Something I've always been curious about is the stack up of the rounds in the magazine. You notice how your top one's kind of up and ready and your other one's more flush? I've always thought that was kind of interesting. And at first I thought, because my 1911 magazines did it, that I had something wrong. Because you just kind of assume everything would be at the cant, you know, at the angle that would, the feeding angle would be. So it must just be something in there. I've also noticed too, like what you just saw, that when you put the magazine in and you pull it back out, your first round is off a little bit, so that must be, you know, part of the prepping to feed kind of thing, which is, I mean, is what it is. I don't know. I haven't noticed any problems with it. I even ran a couple of, not a couple of boxes, but a couple of magazines before I had the extra mags of the Tula ammo, which is cheap. Wouldn't even run in my my Glock 35 conversion to 9mm. It's essentially Glock 34. It wouldn't run in that, so I thought it was kind of cool that it ran in this little pistol here with these magazines. So that was kind of nice. At least I don't have a 250 round stash of ammo that's worthless. But either way, 16 minutes is quite a long time for a little bit of info. So I do appreciate you hanging out this far, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.